Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to Chapter 4 of the Railway Empire PS4 campaign. We are needing to deliver weapons to Jackson, Knoxville, and we need to transport 2,000 passengers. Now, the passengers are taking care of themselves, that's absolutely fine, no rush on that. But we now have a year, just under a year actually, to get these weapons delivered to Jackson and to Nashville. To Knoxville. So I've been looking around, and I think we can probably get away, hopefully, with actually constructing a weapons production facility here in Memphis. Now, we've got a supply of coal just over here. What I'm going to do is try and tap into that with the station just there, and I'm placing it just there, I think. Right, let's get some track connected up. In fact, actually, I'm going to want corn to come from Harris Manor here. I forgot to reconnect this freight line just here, so I'm going to bring this in over here, and I'm going to bring it in closer to the station so it doesn't affect the freight line between our two cities. And what I am going to do is I'm going to connect, if I build that route there, I'm going to connect the quarry to that line. So we're going to run that along here, try and join it up as parallel tracks somewhere around here. Oops, it's done that thing where it's changed the direction. So let's connect it here instead, like that. Oh, it's done it again. It's because I didn't... it's frustrating when it does this. There we go. Right, so it doesn't seem to like them being placed as parallel tracks along here for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. There we go. Smooth those points out. Now we are cutting through the objective here, so I'm going to need to take a diversionary loop around the outside, sort of like that. Again, I want to try and make it as smooth and as shallow as possible. I want these lines to come together relatively smoothly and straightly, but I want to put a supply tower just here so I can cover both lines as they make their run out towards either Harris or Hilton, like that. Then they're going to run along here. So let's continue planning. They run along here like this, and then when they get to this corner here, this is where we're going to start to look at joining those two lines together. Like so. So let's get some signals in place. So we'll put wait signals just there. I'm going to need a wait signal on the freight line. I'm going to place that just there, so I can get a freight train come through and sit in this section. If there's a station, if there's a train already in the station, it should stop at that point and wait just there. It might not, because that it's a bit of a long track. I don't know. It may possibly get in the way of this switch point. It could slow things down a little bit, but we'll see how we get on. We've now got everything we need there. Let's get a supply tower in place where the lines converge, just there. Now these are long routes, so the trains are going to need some maintenance. So we'll put a maintenance shed here at Hilton Quarry, and we'll put another one here at Harris Manor. Excellent. Trying to remember what else we need for weapons. I'm trying to get everything built as early as I can. We need to sort out what we're going to do with Knoxville, and I think the easiest thing for us to do is to loop around off this section here. We've got these lines here. I think it might be easier for us to come in around here and then cut through this way into Knoxville. So we're just going to run a single freight line down here for now. I'm going to try and bring this in around like this. So get hooked up to the line. It's quite a severe curve, so we need to try and smooth that out a little bit with these track placement points. Now that's going to cause issues with those building zones, so maybe we should pull this point back a bit if we can. Yeah, let's pull it back to there. That should be okay that way. Let's just smooth this line out a bit more, if we can. Okay, so we've got a nice sweeping curve around there. That looks good. I'm going to cut through here. We've got these big tunnels. Can we maybe raise the height without it being too expensive? I don't know. I thought about repositioning the station, but if we end up moving here towards Atlanta, then I want a nice smooth run straight down to Atlanta. So that's why I've left it in that position that it's in there. Maybe, though, I can reposition the line and shorten those tunnels. I mean, that there has significantly reduced it down by a couple of 100,000, as you can see. Can I do the same around here, perhaps? Oh yeah, significant. Oh, big gradient though. 4% gradient I'm happy with. I don't really like to go above that if I can. Yeah, if I can help it. What happens if I take that placement out? Yeah, that's fine. That's down to 367. Now, just a moment ago, that was a $700,000 route. We've just halved the price of that. So yeah, there we go. Let's build that line there. This is just a single freight line that we're going to have running into Knoxville. We're not going to worry about passengers for it just yet. But if we do end up putting passengers on there, then what I also want to do is put a switch like that so I can connect to a passenger station. There we go. Excellent. And then again, what I can do is I could run a split off this line, either there or on probably on the other side, and then run that alongside, and we could just have a passenger loop which would then loop into a single station there. So we have options with that. Let's see, what else do we need to do? We need to connect Jackson. We need to connect that to Memphis. So again, we have this pre-existing little bit of track here. Now this is a bit clunky, so we're going to take that out completely. And instead, what we're going to do is we are going to build this down into Jackson. Jackson is currently a single track station. Jackson I'm going to want to actually expand up to a double track, so I'm going to delete. Actually no, I'm just going to upgrade the station. So click on the station and we're going to expand it. There we go. Go back to track construction. This one's actually already got a maintenance shed, which is quite handy. There's our line. I want that to run like that. Let's see if we can get rid of this really long, ridiculously expensive bridge along here. It's by flattening the track out a bit. When you place a track point, it automatically places it on the level of the ground that you're placing the point on. So if I were to place a track through this hill, for example, you can see the track raises up. And then, well, actually, I could show you over here very quickly. This I've got to build this line over here first, but I'll show you in a second. Basically, if we have a train that runs through, I can kind of show you here as well, actually. With the placement that we've got so far, you can see it's cutting into the ground. We're creating a trench for the train to run through. Now, if I were to place a track point here, it brings it to the surface of the ground that it's at. So this can end up creating some quite steep gradients. Now, obviously, we're going to remove that and put that back to the way it was. But that's something to be very wary of when you're placing your track points and you're trying to work through a hill, especially if you're looking at trying to remove tunnels. You can end up putting a track point on the top of the mountain rather than in the middle of the mountain, just to move the line a little bit. So it's the external points, track points, that you place when positioning your tunnels. They're the ones that you want to be moving around to change the line direction as it goes through a hill or a tunnel. Otherwise you can end up, as I say, causing some pretty big problems for yourself. I'm trying to remove these bridges because they're expensive. There we go. That's not bad. What about if I just reposition that slightly, try and smooth the line out a bit? Yeah, that's a lot better. So now we've got this line down to about 117,000. And I just move that ever so slightly, it builds a bridge, and look at that, it's got up to 153. If I just bend it back just a bit and build earthworks instead of a bridge, much, much cheaper construction costs. Obviously, if money's no issue, then go ahead and do what you want to do, but when you've got a tight budget, you need to make things as cheap as you possibly can, while still being, you know, a good functioning sort of express route. Right, so we've got a nice straight piece of track here. Now what I need to do is build that, and now I need to go into demolish, and I need to take out this join here. Oh, I took the whole line out, didn't mean to do that. That's expensive waste of time and money there. I meant to take the whole, you know, just take out the small section there. I was trying to place a track point and I deleted the line instead of placing a point, you know, demolition marker, so that I could then bring in the position where I needed it to with the line. I need it to connect. I'll connect it about here, like so, as before. I'm going to rework this ever so slightly. Try and reduce the size of the line. Yeah, here we go. Actually, I can show you here. Look, we've got this tunnel that's being built. Now, if I were to click here, look at that. It builds a 22% gradient because it builds straight up onto the top of the hill. That's what I was talking about there, about if you've got a tunnel and then you put a marker on the tunnel, you have to move the line before the tunnel itself. If you build it, put a marker on the tunnel, then it just brings a tunnel to the surface and creates those huge gradients that are just ridiculously unworkable. Alright, yeah, I'm happy with that. That's pretty good. Just need to smooth these corners out just a touch. Yeah, slightly more expensive. Oh, that's a bit of a steep gradient. Let's bring that back around a bit. Let's just drag that back down like that. Yeah, there we go. That's good. So now, from here, what I'm going to do is put in a switch point, like so. And now we can get our wood going onto here. So what I originally planned to do was where we had this original junction here, I meant to take out a section so that I had the original line still where it was, and then build a new position once I'd connected this sweeping bend around here, and then go into it on a point like this and then create this point here to connect onto the freight line. A bit messy, but we've got it done. That's the most important thing. Let's reconnect this business over here. Again, this needs to be on the freight line, which is the right hand line of these two lines. So I need to have a little bit of a gap before we get to the station, so that I have space to then cross over onto the other line again. And I'm going to get a gradient no matter where I do this. It might be easier for us to actually remove. Let's see. I'm trying to see what this hill looks like. Maybe come in on the other side of it. I don't think that's going to be possible either. Right, let's take that point out. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. It cuts through a sort of a sneaky angle, but it works. Just push that back just a little bit more. There we go. So we'll build that, and then again, to get onto the freight line, let's put in our point just there. So again, we're going to need signals. We're going to need to make sure that we're not getting in the way. I want the express line to have the priority when we get through here. And again, just to make sure that the express line has the priority, put a wait signal just there as well. Okay, we're looking good. Now Memphis, can I afford to buy this weaving factory? No, not yet. But I want to tear that out and put in a weapons factory just there instead.
The recruits have arrived in Knoxville and Jackson. That is a massive boost for our troops.
Right, we've delivered those 2,000 passengers already. Really, really quick and easy, as I knew it would be. Let's get weapons going from Louisville to Knoxville and back again. So I need to make sure that the priority is weapons, like that. And we'll make this a freight. No, we'll make this just a standard default automatic loading and see what happens.
Some newspapers have been critical of my dealings with Treasury notes. Well, I guess I'll just have to buy these newspapers up.
There we go. And I'm on a security guard on this train. So there we go. We've got a mixture of passengers and weapons being transported on that train there. We need to get weapons down here into Jackson. Let's start transferring the materials we need to make for the chemical additions, the chemical components of weapons. So I want an engineer. Let's get a stoker on the train. Let's get a security guard. We've got
Was
one
that
that will
your
work well
wheel
with the
that
rest
just
of the team.
rolled towards me?
Nope. And we want that to run from there to there. Excellent. I want to get a corn train going in as well. Again, let's get an engineer. We've got any stokers left over? Yes, but doesn't like that engineer. So can we change to a different engineer? We can. Can we change to a friendly engineer? No. We can get a security guard who's friendly. Excellent. And the line is going to be from here to here. There we go. So that's going to help Memphis to grow. I really want to be able to purchase this business. What technologies have we got available to us? Increase our engine power. Yes. We've got 3 loads of weapons to Knoxville already. We still need weapons to go to Jackson. Oh, where is our freight train that runs weapons? Let's change this line Let's take Nashville out of the out of their save changes. Now hopefully this train... it's dropped its load. Damn it. I was hoping he would carry those 2 loads of weapons all the way through. He hasn't, but we've got a temporary kind of setup in place. You can see Memphis is now growing, which is excellent. Still... Ooh. Yes, let's try and bid. Hopefully, we'll be the only ones bidding on this. We are.
Don't you find it surprising that nobody
So
else
let's
has
demolish
placed a
this
bid?
industry. It's going to cost us 240,000 to demolish it. Okay, so we need to wait a little while, but we'll demolish that and we'll set up what we need. So we'll need to set up a chemical plant and then a weapons factory. How are we doing, task-wise? Okay.
And they call that fast?
I'm going to need to increase... Oh, yeah, we can't build without the iron ore. Do we have an iron ore supply over here? We do. It's a bit of a trek, but we do have some iron. Yeah, I think we're better off to just ship the weapons. So this train is currently not needed. So instead, let's clear that line off, and we'll get him delivering from Jenkins Farm to Memphis instead. So now he'll come across, he'll get onto this bit. We need to put a switch track already exists. Let's get signals. Again, I want the freight line to have the express line to have the priority. Excellent. I need a supply tower over here because I don't have one. And we need to start building those maintenance sheds as well. Now, the reason I'm building these on these locations out here is so that the maintenance is done here and doesn't take place in the cities, hopefully, so that it speeds up how quickly the trains get out of Nashville and Memphis and so on and so forth. It's not always going to be the case, but you know, it might help us out. Increase the number of packages, increase time passengers wait. Yeah, we'll take that one there. So this train is now just going to run barley as the priority into Memphis, because Memphis has a brewery. That'll help us out. What's this train complaining about? Probably, yeah, no supply tower. Let's drop a supply tower in. I want the train to be clear of the siding. So, just there. Is that a random breakdown? It is. How are we doing on time? We still haven't got any weapons going out to Jackson. I'm going to need to get a second train. Where is the... Right, there it is. So let's... it's a rail line. We're going to clone this train. So there we go. It's running 4 loads of weapons right now. And we've got another train. It's going to do the same. Did we have a passing loop there? Yes, we did. Good. I don't need to put one in here because it's such a long line. There's only one train running through that section. They're not going to cross each other in this section just here. So we're fine there. we've got 8 loads of weapons already at Knoxville, which is over here. So we're going to get this objective done really quickly. This one here, though, this is the more pressing objective. I think I might need to improve my weapon facility, expand the industry, so it's producing more weapons. Yeah, there we go. And then we can see we've got another 2 loads of weapons going off to Knoxville with some passengers as well. Nashville is dwindling. Why is Nashville dwindling? Not getting the supplies that we need. See, what I'd like to do, I think, is to... Did I run a train from Harris to Nashville? Let's click on the line. No, there's nothing on that line. Let's add in a train. So, it's a small line, so we'll just go with a dragon on this one. And we'll run from Harris Manor into Nashville and back again. Didn't put signals on this part of the line, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, so there's the freight line like that. Oh, I need signals here as well. There we go. So we'll get some corn going into Nashville. That'll help boost Nashville's economy a little bit. How is Memphis doing? Memphis is doing well. Yes, Memphis is growing, look. Excellent. This building requires weapons. Arriving trains with weapons will be unloaded and their freight will be removed to this warehouse. That's obviously something that we don't normally have access to as a military depot. That's obviously something that's campaign specific. We're up to June. How are we doing with our tasks? Still no weapons arrived at Jackson. That's problematic. We need to get... Here's the first load of weapons, I think. No, that's going from Harris Manor. I'm at the wrong point. That's Memphis. Where are we? Louisville. To Knoxville. We know that one's working. That one's working absolutely fine. This is the main line here. It's running out. Oh, look at that. We've got a full load of weapons making its way over. That's good. We need those weapons to get there nice and quick. Can I give this train a bit more of a boost? No, I can't. Let's take a look at the other train on the line, though. Which is currently on its way back. Let's get an engineer and a stoker. Yeah, no difference between those two. And the security guard on this one as well. Does not like that engineer. Alright, can we switch the engineer? We can. Excellent. Beautiful. Act for Transcontinental Railroad. Gifts to the entrepreneurs. The Pacific Railroad Act comes into force today, allowing the construction of a railroad link between the East and the West. In doing so, the law makes far-reaching gifts from the railroad companies involved at the expense of the state. It is still to be seen whether the undertaking will bring with it the desired economic stimuli or only serve the personal enrichment of a few shareholders. Interesting. can I do anything else to boost engine speed? Not really. But the Rogers American Express, which is slower, I think. Oh no, it's slightly faster than the Rogers Mogul. Doesn't have as much tractive power though, so given that we do have some inclines, we'll stick to the Rogers Mogul for now. What about over here? Increase the number of new applicants. Increase the number of packages. Oh, that's actually just come up for auction. That was handy. Just about to waste some points on that. Now I don't need to.
Journey into the
so now I can increase the number of passengers in every station instead. Yeah, we'll take that. Which then unlocks this one, bribery, which reduces the cost of everything by 10%. That's very important to get as quick as we can. Right, how are our weapon loads coming on? I'm going to follow this train. Oh, we've completed a task. 12 loads of weapons to Knoxville, and I just got a trophy for that as well, rocket scientist. We've got 4 loads of weapons in Jackson, and we've got another 8 cars going in here, so this could complete our second task as well. Random breakdown. Come on, fix the train. Fix the train quickly. This is the last one. I think this should be the last load of weapons that we need to go to Jackson. Oh, it's so frustrating. Let's speed time up. There we go. Train chugs into the station. Please be the final 8 loads that we need to clear this objective. Let's see what our next tasks are going to be.
The weapons deliveries have arrived in Knoxville and Jackson. Perhaps now we can turn the course of the war in our favor.
Fantastic.
The war is drawing to a close, and that is in no small part thanks to you. Our army is taking control of more and more areas. Now we have to deal with the reconstruction. Pay particular attention to Atlanta. The city needs help, as it will soon have to accommodate lots of returnees.
Okay, let's see. What are our new tasks?
The induction is taking place in Louisville now. Transport a large number of soldiers from there to Atlanta so they can help with the reconstruction. Maybe we can even end the war. To do so, we'll have to transport troops and goods efficiently. Then the southern states will see that fighting is futile.
Oh, wow. We've taken over everything. Look at that. We have complete control of the map. We've got rid of our opponent completely. He doesn't exist anymore. So we own all this network down here, his existing network. We've got a lot of reconstructive work to do over here. Okay, let's take a look at our tasks and see exactly what we've got to do. Transport 3,000 passengers from Louisville to Atlanta without stopping. Reach a population of 60,000 in Atlanta and a population of 70,000 in Jacksonville. Well, Jacksonville's not far off already. Okay, so let's go back to construction. So we can pause and take a look and see exactly what state our network is in down here. So we have a large station here. We've got Augusta. It's a small station and it's a very messy... Look at this. Look, this is the problem when you inherit tracks and stations, etc., from an AI competitor when you put them out of business, is that they are not bound by the same rules as us. Obviously, you know, we're playing with realistic network settings, so we have to have passing loops, signals, all that kind of jazz. The AI always uses simplistic. You can't change that. And I wish that we could actually get that as a setting in the future. But for now, it's impossible to change the AI's construction settings, so they always use simplistic. So it doesn't matter if they have trains crossing over. So when you inherit their network, when you put them out of business, either through objectives like we've done now, or if you buy them out, you inherit what is essentially something that is almost unusable for yourself. You have to do major reconstruction. You're just paying to get rid of them, and then you have to kind of tear up a lot of what they've built and rebuild it. I mean, look at Atlanta here, a single track station with feeds going out to Augusta and to Jacksonville and to Montgomery like this, and there's just going to be trains looping back and forth on this and going through each other, and it's just a bit of a mess. So yeah, we've got a little bit of work to do. Right, first things first, we need to upgrade Knoxville. Do we have time limits on our objectives, by the way? 1864, 1864 and 1865. Okay, right. Let's upgrade this station. Oh, I just clicked on the line by mistake. Expand station, yes. Right, let's go to demolition. Where is the train? Still somewhere in the tunnel. So let's take this piece out. Nope, it's in use. So it won't let me. I have to let the train go through. We're still transporting weapons, even though we don't actually need to, but we can change that. So let's get the train going through. Actually, now it's there in the station. Now I can do this, I think. Let me put a demolition marker just there. Yes, excellent. So now what I can do is I can bring this around here. Like that. Now I can bring this around, and we can do what we were talking about last time out. And when we put this line in, we can bring this through here. And what I can actually do is try and connect. Have I got space? No, I don't. But now, what I can do as well is I can actually take part of that line out, like so. So let's now put in a switch just here. I don't need this switch here anymore, so we'll take that switch out. And now I can bring this line in here. And why has it gone all wonky like that? Okay, it's a little bit odd. Let's try and take a bit more of this line out, perhaps. There we go. So now we've got our passenger line here, which will loop through, come in on this line here, switch over onto the middle track, and then we've got our passenger line, and then on this side we've got our freight line, which then splits off and becomes the freight line over there. Excellent. That's that sorted. Now, Atlanta needs major reconstruction. I mean, total reconstruction. We need to take this piece out. I'm going to take that whole line out, and I'm going to upgrade this to a 4-track station. I think I'm going to go 4-track. Just looking to see what I need to split the tracks off into. Yeah, I'm going to need 4 tracks. So let's click on the station, let's expand, and then expand again. So from Knoxville, got the passenger line coming in here. So looking around, yeah, we'll come in on these tracks here, because that opens up the possibility of us running a line from Nashville through the mountains into Atlanta, you know, in the future. If we want to. We probably won't end up doing that. We probably won't even have time or the need to do that as an objective, but it gives us that option just in case. So what I'm doing is I'm creating that straight piece there so I can have some tracks running out this way just in case. I can then run them over and I can do my switching between the lines where I need to. Everything else looks pretty good. Yep. And then again, we've got the freight line coming in on the freight line. Just there. Right, so that's coming on quite nicely. So Atlanta. What were the objectives again? It was... do I want to buy the... No. Population and passengers from Louisville to Atlanta. They're the ones that are going to be done by the end of 1964. And then Jacksonville is 1965. That gives us a little bit of time to work with. So let's make sure that everything around here is set up first of all. So we've got a loop here for passengers. I'm going to need to put in a passing loop along here now. Just going to do it on the express line to start with. Not going to worry about the freight line because we're not going to be running freight between these cities for a while. So let's put in our block signal there. And then do the same on this side. There we go. And now I want to split this up into sections. Let's just do I go 3 sections on this? Yeah, 3 sections works really, really well. So put one there. And one about there, I think. They look pretty well spaced. I can actually bring this one in a little bit further. Make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. And now I need to do the same on the other line, but the other way around. So, signal in and flip the direction. Same again, signal in and flip the direction. And then no, I don't want a waypoint there. Remove that signal. Yeah, excellent. There we go. We've got our sections. So that's section 1, section 2, and section 3. Where else are we going to need a passing loop? I'm going to need one here between Atlanta and Knoxville. So same again, on the express line only. I'm going to run this down here because we're going to be running several trains. We need to get 3,000 passengers transported directly. We're going to need to have a direct service literally just between Atlanta and Louisville. So we're going to need a lot of trains running back and forth just between those 2 cities. Let's set the track point like that. Build that route. Same again over here. Very, very shallow express point there. Oops, no, not new train, not yet. Signals. So that's my block point. I need my other directional signal over here. There we go. And again, we're going to split this section up into 3 stages. So put one there. Just putting these in just to get the spacing first of all. Spacing looks pretty good. I'm just going to move this one ever so slightly. Now let's get the directions correct. So that needs to change direction. There we go. Alright, excellent. So we've got our passenger loop up and running. Let's start with a Rogers Mogul. I want an engineer, a stoker, and a conductor. Definitely. Can I get a better relationship? Yes, I can. But I don't have an extra stoker spare. I want to have a dining car on this one. This line is going to go from Louisville direct to Atlanta. It is Atlanta, not Augusta, isn't it? Yeah, Atlanta. This is going to be an express goods only train, and it's going to run nothing but passengers. Well, passengers as the priority. On, you know, when leaving Louisville. No. We will do what I've been doing. We'll run dedicated trains. There we go. So we've got a dedicated train here. It needs to be on the right platform. So it's currently on platform 1. It needs to be on platform 2, I think. Or is it platform 3? I don't know why the train's going all the way out here. Sometimes...
Was that your wheel that just rolled towards me?
Oh, he's still around. Apparently. Maybe it's platform 3. There we go, platform 3. So we need to be in on platform 3 here. It's going to leave, split through here, run down here. It's going to go straight through Knoxville, not stopping, into Atlanta. And then do the same on the way back. Save and exit. There is the train being formed. Fantastic stuff. I need to make sure I've got enough supply towers in place. I don't think I do, because it's a long old trek. Let's put a supply tower in. Can't see where my signals are. It's the cliff. One there and one there. That's not long enough. Alright, let's put them in the middle. We'll put them just there. Like that. And with our first train up and running, this is a good place for us to end this particular episode. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with the next part of Chapter 4 on our PS4 run-through of the Railway Empire campaign very soon.